doing something. So if you still need to get set up, take a minute, do your camera. Did we talk about the best self-defense application when you're out and about and you have the stick is this turning over this way? I think we did that. Is if you're facing an opponent as you turn, just turning this way, turn the waist, all power coming from here. Turn to walk away. Works with a smaller stick too. By the way, for those of you that are working with a non-correct length BIAN gun, I found there's a place on Amazon that's selling white waxwood. White waxwood being the type of stick, the type of wood material that we prefer. Unfortunately, they're smooth. They've already been sanded. They're the kind that are not. If you see this one is bumpy. It has bumps all along the surface. The master that teaches this form recommends to get the natural one, because when we do these kind of exercises, this kind of turning, that actually works on the hands. The regular wooden one has a benefit as well without having the knots on it, but if you can get a natural white waxwood staff without the sanding, without it being smooth, the one I have a couple of them on order, so we'll talk about that offline. Meanwhile, let's do something. If you have your stick, you can set it down. Allow your feet to touch, allow them to be parallel, and then just doing a regular martial arts style salute. And we're going to warm up, so just starting from the head top, turn the head, going from the top to bottom. So just like in Tai Chi, keep the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth, and with the same kind of long breathing that we do when we do this warm-up, pushing up through the back of the head top. You can keep your shoulders in place, and then change directions going the other way. Long, deep breathing. And then when you come back to the center, we're going to work on this stuff here, the neck. So we're going to do some shoulder rolls, but instead of imagining that happening where the seam right here is on the torso, I want you to imagine the pivot point being as close to your neck as possible. So do the shoulder rolls, keep turning. And when you're turning, imagine it's close to here. So I want you to feel, especially in the upper part of the back, as you do these shoulder rolls. So make the breathing long and relaxed. You don't have to time the shoulder rolls with the breathing, but you can. And then change directions, do some going the other way. And I want you to feel, we do an exercise in these classes sometimes where we grab across here. I want you to feel when you do the shoulder roll that you're actually opening that inner part of the shoulder next to the neck. Same long breathing. That we change directions on these acting stuff. Next, for the upper body, if you put your feet one in front of the other, and we're just rocking the body, allow the backs of the hands to touch, pushing up through the back of the head top, and then alternating. So one hand is crossing on top, and then when it switches, the other hand is crossing on top. And so you can use the momentum of your body to add to the springiness of the movement. You can use quite a bit of power if you like. So next, take a tall horse stance, and we're just going to turn around the center. So as if you're expanding the spine, pushing up through the head top, and like you're sitting at the same time. So this is going down and this is going up, and the rest of it's turning around the middle. And I want you to imagine that you're sending your hands as far to the sides as you can. See if you can relax your shoulders enough to start to feel as if it's stretching, like your arm is being pulling from the center line. Allow your shoulders to stretch, your neck. Breathe deep, grip your feet. And then we'll do the second one, which is turning up. And the same thing, I'm setting one foot is flat and parallel, the other foot is turning so that my body can turn with it. And then I'm also sinking down as my hands float up. Remember to breathe. You don't have to time it with the breathing, but you can. Check to see that you have a very serious expression. This is an exercise called swing hands. So, and then what's the next one is turning this way. Oh, we missed one. Actually, that's the last one. We missed one. The other one is very similar to the first one, is throwing up over the top. So when we do this, and then, before we do the next one, my teacher would use an exercise to talk about shoulder alignment and shoulder structure. And it's kind of like if we imagine doing what I'm doing right now, but I want you to feel that your hands are moving in a half circle. The example he would use, he would say, people thinking the arm, shoulder moving like this, but this kind of linear movement is not what the body is designed for to do this. It can do it, but the shape of the shoulder is like a half circle. The movement for that joint curves around this way. So you can try to find that shape going from the front to the back here, or imagine drawing 2 figure 8s on either side. So you make a loop on one end and a loop on the other end, back, forth, back, and so forth. So the same thing, push up through the back of your head top, and while you make these loops, try to relax your shoulders, your shoulder blade, your collarbone. So the weight of the arm is actually pulling on your collarbone and the top of the rib cage. Breathe deep. We're going to do another shoulder one before we switch to the nunchuck exercise. By the way, I did a little bit of research for Mark and anyone else that's interested. Nunchucks did exist in China, and they have, I think it goes by the same name. I looked up the Mandarin and I saved it somewhere. The other shoulder exercise we're going to do is, if I stand with my feet parallel, I'm going to bring my arm in front of me, turn it up to the top, and then I'm going to bring it behind me and turn it up to the top and in front of me. So as if we have 2 circles. And the pivot point is going to be somewhere here on the inside. And so I'm going to turn my arm in a circle in front, and then I'm going to turn, and I'm going to turn it in a circle in the back. So if I face this direction and the camera's there, I make 1 circle, back, front, back, front, back. And I want you to turn your feet accordingly, protect your knees. So everyone in this class should be experienced enough that when you're turning, you shouldn't be having any injury for your knees. So if you can do this one, don't turn your knees too much. Make sure that they're staying in line with the foot. Switch sides. So you can just make a circle in front. Or if I turn, I can make a circle in the back, and then I connect them. Circle, circle, bottom, top. And the same thing, this exercise is to open up and expand the shoulders and the upper back. Let's do one more from the swing hands exercise, which is reaching behind. Go as far as you can to pat yourself on the back. And the same thing here. The exercise we just talked about, if you reach across and you grab your shoulder, you feel where it's tight, where it's so tight. And so if you do a little bit of massage there, and then check the other side. One side is tighter than the other. One side has more tension. So now when we do this next exercise, when you reach up, think of it like a meat tenderizer. You can hit that tissue. And then the same thing on the side here. Pat yourself on the back twice. Once on the bottom, once on the top. So turning at your own pace. Remember to breathe. This is the same relaxed Qigong. Breathing. And by the way, we can use all of these swing hands exercises to practice different timing and power. If you study martial arts for some time, you'll see there's generally a yin and yang of the power differential. One is what we would call short power, striking power, which is there's a target that's very close, and we need to be able to hit it from very close with a lot of power. And the other one is a long power, right? If you're studying the Pete Watchman with Master Yun, they refer to it as the hammer and the whip, right? So the hammer is the short power, you hit something with it, and the whip is the long power. We can do the same thing with the stick. So for this one, this is a combination, long power, short power. Hang on a second. It is, my computer was giving me a message. So try the same thing. One hand is turning the long distance, the other hand going very short distance, just to hear. And then what is it like if you take your time right to the last minute and you wait and it goes. So this is, or if you go direct to the sword, this is like creating a whiplash versus a pounding. And they both have their purposes, both for martial arts and in this case if we're doing a treatment on the body, time out the power. And then change, come back to the center. We already did some turning around we did the first turning, this one. So just turning around the hips. Try to keep your spine in line, lined up. And take the time to stretch. I know some of us have been sitting around an office desk all day. So do the stretch, breathe deep. And then change, grip your feet, push your tailbone back and away, and let everything in the top half relax. So expand your head and your neck. Grip your feet. And feel the energy moving in your back, in your torso. And then when you're ready, grip the ground, and we're going to expand, unrolling all the way up. And relax, we're going to do another one of those. If you look at the cameras after people do that, the face is all red and matches my. Grip your feet, push your tailbone back and away, relax your shoulders, arms, head, and neck. Let gravity do the work. Grip the ground and feel the energy moving. See how little effort you can do. The more relaxed you are, the more the energy will move, and in addition, the more you can feel the energy moving. So when you're ready, grip the ground, Breathing deep. Use your abs, inflating. Inflate all the way. Reach all the way to the top. And relax. For the legs, we're going to do the same exercise that we have been doing. So if you have a chair, something that you like to do, and you have some stick, if you put your foot there. If you feel like you need to work the upper leg, you can do this type of pressing and rolling type of massage. I'm going to go straight to the knee, which is this line above the kneecap. In fact, these pants have this interesting red stripe that sort of goes right along that band. So if you have the long stick, you can use it as such. And if you use the long stick, you can hold the pivot point up here and hit it this way as well. I'm just moving this hand up and down. Or if you hold it very close to the point where you want to hit, sometimes you can get a good hit that way. Either way, working around that band. As much power as you can give it, it won't bruise in that area. And if you can let the vibration, the recoil, you may feel that you can see my stick vibrating. Allow that vibration to go into the tendons so that the tendons get that vibration all the way through the length of them. Breathing deep. As much power as you can deliver, as much power as you can handle. And then while we're here, going underneath the backside, pushing down this way. So I'm rolling from the glute to the back of my kneecap. In fact, you know what? We'll do that in a different one. Just to balance it out, do some on the other side as well. And then for this next one, we're going to do exactly what I was just doing a second ago, but instead of wasting time one at a time, we're going to do both legs. So if you have your stick and you turn it, the other stick works as well. Any length, doesn't matter. And if you turn the stick and you press right above the top of the glutes here, and using your abs to support, keep your neck straight, breathing deep, pulling the stick forward so that you're massaging the back of the leg as you reach all the way down. Keep your neck straight, remember to breathe, and when you reach the bottom, just relax. We're going to change. You can use the other side to start. It doesn't really matter because we're going to balance it out on both sides. So here, as if I'm pressing inwards and then leaning forward, keep your neck straight, breathing deep, long breathing, like you're scraping, pressing, pushing, rolling all of the energy down the back of the leg. So the same thing. As we do this, the more that you can relax, if you can keep the muscles in the back of your leg relaxed, the better. So just pressing the stick all the way down to the calf. Kind of like, it's a little bit like when we do the next one, which is gripping the feet, pushing one foot forward. Try to keep this toe pointed up or in, and then using the stick. This is easier with the shorter one. Hitting the back of the leg. You can use this leg to support. Remember the same long breathing that we started with. And then when you're ready, change to the other side. So gripping the ground, balance. And then change, we'll do one last one, which is a balance exercise, good for your feet too. Please be careful, don't bruise yourself. If you study with Master Su, Master Yun, their school has a saying, it says safety first. And that means don't hurt yourself to give yourself practice. I use another saying, another expression that comes from the Zen world. It says, if your practice makes you worse, what good is it? So we shouldn't have any injuries. We should avoid injury. We should foresee injury coming and make a change before the injury arrives. So don't injure yourself when you hit. All right, let's do some stick. Before we do, does anyone have questions, thoughts, comments? It doesn't have to be about the stick form or general kung fu. It can be tai chi, something that you're working on, anything. If you do, you can ask anytime. Just unmute yourself. Let's do. In the meantime, let's do the first section and second section up to what is the next movement, what we're working on. So we did this kind of U-shaped scoop, and then the next one is smash. So we know what the smash is. And the next two, tonight what we'll work on are the next two, which is this, there's a nice pop-up movement that has, there's a couple of different variations, and I think that'll take us through the rest of the class. So, if there's no questions, let's actually do a little bit into the second section. So from the ready stance, while we're here, from the salute, we have block, cast, waba, flip, smash, catch, cut, block, drilling, high hit, spiral to low hit, tip up, top, and then step 2, 3, from here, waba, flip into the elbow, catch the other end, and scoop. So then from this scoop, if I'm facing sideways, the next one I'm reaching to the end of the stick, and once I do that reach, I'm going to do a smash. And remember, the smashes in this form, they have the thumbs going this way. So we'll look from the second section. But after this scoop, I'm facing 90 degrees, right? So my target is that way. So when I turn, I'm going to face the camera. So if we sort of go through the first section facing north and south, after the drill and the high hit, low hit, tip up, forward, this way. Now I'm traveling directly south. I turn 90 degrees to the side. And the next one, this smash, when I'm reaching that end, I'm turning back to the south. So this is just to make learning easier. We're just going to talk about north, south, east, and west. Later, remember, like we said, this form has what's called 7-star stepping, right? The 7 stars. Very prominent in Chinese Taoism. The 7 stars point to the North Star, and the North Star in Taoism is a very, very important concept. North Star in reality is 4,000 times brighter than our sun, and the light from it takes about 500 years to travel here. So, in any case, 7-star stepping. So the stepping for this, for what we're doing, we'll just keep it straight, north and south, high hit, low hit, tip up, top, turn 2, 3. Here I'm facing south, my square is south. I flip up, this is on my gate, I turn 90, and now from here when I turn, I have the smash going in that direction. So if you take your stick, what is it if we do the shorter stick, the other stick, this way? Is after we have the ankle smash, we have a flip up, and then from here, when I catch and turn this one, it's this, and now this, reaching. Same thing. But I'll use for, it's easier to see. It's easier to see the larger one. Scoop. So everyone has the scoop, right? Everyone has this idea. And then the next one. I'm reaching with my pinky towards the outside of the stick. And then I could just use that. So once it's underneath here, if you have your stick and you have it under your elbow, this way like you're walking here, this one is like we're pulling it out, but this other hand turning, and then from here I can slide to do the smash. And remember, we said these postures, just like in Taiji, when we do the form, they're ending all very perfectly. We want to have our back straight. This line is straight. We should probably have this leg straight. It's all very geometric. But in real life, when we're doing this, when it happens, there's a target over here, and I have this scoop. When I turn, it may not be as accurate. So in this class, I don't try to make things be as precise as I do maybe in the Tai Chi class, because this is a slightly different, little bit more loose. So after the smash, what's the next one? The next one is the pop up and the poke, and this repeats twice. We have left side and right side. So this one, kind of like when we do this exercise here, where we're turning, and we have this. So even if you use the smaller one, if we're just standing, if you take a second to breathe and just handle the stick as such, you can go out this way. But here, on this next one, we're going to be doing a lot of this waba, this sliding of the hands. So we want to feel comfortable turning the stick in the hands. And this kind of hitting up this way. This one is almost all waba. So just like the first exercise, when I'm turning, now at this one, I let one hand slide and the other hand is gripping. Slide and grip. So just try this one. It's more challenging with the smaller one because there's not as much room. You have to be more accurate. So here, I'm letting one hand stay open and I'm sliding the stick through, but I'm pulling on this one end. And then when I change, they slide past each other and the lower hand grips and does a pull. So almost like you're pulling it down to your corner, the hip pocket here, right? And the idea for this is hit, and then when it turns, hit, slide, hit. But we don't want to just throw the stick and hit it this way. We need to have the other hand on it for control. There's always two ends of the stick. So with the larger stick, if it's turning, it's here. So going back to the basic, I can turn, hit, turn, hit, turn, hit, turn, hit, hit. Because that's the feeling for this next exercise, is we're going to take, if you have the larger stick, it's even easier. We're going to throw one side up. And then while it's floating, the other side's going to grip it and control that lower hit down here in the corner. So, but both hands are going to stay on the stick. So it's as if I'm making the windshield wiper here, the first half of it, and then as it makes the first half, it's going to slide out the corner. So I make half circle, slide. And now the same, I'm holding it, half circle. I'm using this hand to throw half circle, slide, half circle, slide, half circle, slide, half circle, slide. And then we're going to make it even more confusing by making that half circle go up the front. So just practice. If I'm holding it towards the base here, and I want to throw it up the center, throwing it up the middle. Please be careful, don't lose control, don't hit your computer with your stick, don't hit your phone. With the smaller one, same thing. It may be even easier to see on the smaller one because my hands have to travel less. But I'm holding it as a pivot here in the center, and I'm using this other hand to throw it. So I'm throwing it up the center. Then we're going to combine the two. We're going to take this pop, this
this hit to the corner down here that we're doing, and we're going to combine it with the toss to the middle. So the idea is, if I throw one end up, and remember we have two ends of the stick. If you have we're going to use the heavier end to throw and the lighter end to poke. If you don't have a BIAN gun, don't worry, we're going to get there soon. So I'm throwing the heavier end up and then poking back with this one. What does it look like? If I have an opponent right in front of me, I want to attack their center line twice, 2 times, right? The first one going up the center here, and the second one going back this way. So what does it look like if you guys just take a break for a second? I'll go towards the camera here one time, and then we'll practice some together. Is after I have the scoop, the U-shaped scoop comes to here, I reach and I do my smash to the south, and then here is a waba, and I throw this other hand up, and then from here it's a cross step and poking back. That's towards the camera. Facing sideways, if I have my opponent here, I do the U-shape here, and when I turn, I have a smash this way, pop up, poke back, same target, pop up, poke back, right? This cross step. This should have more space. So if I'm traveling in that direction instead of south, I have my scoop, I smash this way, and then pop up, turn, and this can change directions, pop up, turn back this way, right? We're going to learn this either both using the same target twice, or we may go 90-degree turn, so it pops up in the front, and then we turn 90 degrees going this way. And we can do it going 180. It can turn as much as 360. Before we continue, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas on what's happening with this particular one? All right. Let's actually just, if we're just standing here, if you hit one end and then, like I said, we were doing this from the side. So like, as if I have something, I have the wall here, and I want to tip up right along the center line of the wall. Like I'm taking my hand and I'm throwing this up this way. Just catch and throw it up. Because that's what we want to do, is the opponents in front of us, we want to catch this and throw it at them. And we're not going to give it to them because we're holding on to the stick this way. So we can throw it at them. It's a surprise, like you throw a ball, right? But it can't go anywhere because we keep it this way. And then once that end comes up, we want to use its momentum to turn over and poke back this way. So the shape of this one is the momentum for this one is a lot like the Tai Chi symbol. If I'm traveling in that direction, I have a big circle with a little point. And then going the other direction, big circle, little point. Let's try a couple of them facing the same way if I'm facing the side here. I'm going to have my hand and foot stepping and scooping at the same time. So there's a lot of power coming up. And then here, once it goes up vertical, I change my hands and I put it horizontal and I slide it this way. So, up, poke. Going this direction is I want to throw this thing up the center, and then when I turn, let's just do this one. If you hold the stick right in the middle, and you have your thumbs facing each other this way, and you just take slide one hand to the end, and then like you're poking it this way. So, this one, by the way, when you practice this, this is one of the few that the hand trick can change on the second portion of it. The rest of them, it's pretty, the hands have to sort of stay in the same place. But in this one, he said the official way, the quote-unquote, the real way to do it, is using the BIAN technique of keeping the thumbs back to back. And also keeping this hand bolted to my center. So you may, even if you see the videos of him, you may see some stuff where he's doing this kind of stuff. He's keeping the stick connected very close to his body, right, for these blocks. It's like rolling the stick along the surface of the body. So when we're doing this, he's doing this, keeping this close to his hand, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can, once you do the pop-up, you can step this way out here, but optimally it's in the center, and one hand is doing the shuck, right? This kind of like you're shooting the end of the stick out. So let's try that. Is just make the half circle. Once the hands are on top of each other, slide. And then try the other side, lifting. Once the hands are connected, slide. So take one hand, throw it up and over. And eventually, what you want to get is you want to be able to throw the stick, and while it's still falling, you catch it in the fall, and you keep that falling momentum, and you use that falling momentum into your throw. So we're throwing it up, and as it starts to sink, we throw the power up, down, and out to the side. You should feel it, right? Yeah, question, go ahead.
So Brian, how strongly do you feel about the importance of doing this? Because I think it feels more natural and simpler to not flip the hand over so the thumbs are together, but to have them.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Is when you do this, you can hold it the one hand one way or the other. He gave a reason on why he changed it the second time he came. He's been to the U.S. At least two of the times that I've seen him twice, and he changed this one because he said, keep this here. And to me, it just seems more of like a Tai Chi idea. A lot of times in Tai Chi, the power is here, right? Even in Shin, right? This is where our real power is. There's no power out here. The other day I was watching somebody practice their martial arts forms, and they're doing this kind of stuff out here, flipping. There's no power out here. The power is here, right? When you see sumo dude doing this, this is where the power is. So we may be able to turn, flip this thing up and hit it way over here. But even you see I'm keeping this hand close, just naturally close to the center because it's stronger. We just don't want to get carried away, and we don't want to give the opponent the ability to connect to the weapon, right? So if it's here, it's a lot more under our control.
If it's here in a yin yang, is that a problem or?
No.
Okay.
This because this poke doesn't require anything special, and we're not losing like a setup for the next movement, right? And it's not, and we're not losing any deterrent from coming in from the previous movement. So the movement after the U shape, we have a smash, and then the next one pop up and turn. You see, I'm holding them a yin and yang, and not both yang, right? So
okay.
Right? I mean, so let me just doing something fast. If I turn, hit, pop up, and smash this poke back, neither of them are near my center, but it's still correct. And the reason it's correct is let's actually analyze this movement. This is these next couple of movements are from a martial arts perspective. This form has a bunch of what I call checkmate type movements, and this is one of them. This. If you can initiate this movement on your opponent, it's very difficult for them not to get hit. You're going to hit them if you can do it right. And so the idea is this first part is a fake. And it's a good fake because you're going to hit something, right? You're throwing this right up their center line. So if you see my structure, I want to get this going right up my opponent's center. That way they have to put something in front of them, or they have to move, because this thing is like a wall. So if I use my bag, I'm going right to the center, like I want to drag it up the center of the bag. And that's a lot of these BIAN stuff is like we're making this loop that can hit anywhere, right? And for me, if it can hit groin, it can hit stomach, it can hit sternum, it can hit chest, throat, neck, head, face, right? So right up the center. And that's going to cause them, they have to do something, right? Because we're just throwing the stick right at them. And when they block, it doesn't matter because the momentum's already coming around and we have this poke. So they're forced to block, they're forced to make a move. And in chess, when we're talking about martial arts, there's only a few movements before checkmate, right? Once our defenses are down and we can take a hit in certain places, the fight's over. So this is a good setup. This one is where we're opening them up with the first one. It's a wild, big, powerful swinging movement that's difficult to block. Remember we said the free-floating power is is they have to block that, and it doesn't matter because we're right back with the second half of it. So it's a good fake. It has an offensive and defensive opening, and then as we make contact, even if we don't make contact, that momentum is still continuing, and we can add to it by adding the second half. All right? And we're changing levels as well. We're going to change levels on this one. Remember, this form, if you see him in the video, he says, you may see him doing this, right? He's talking about changes. He wants us to change a height, right? The more dynamic. So you may see from my ready stance from here, from my block, I may sink really low because I'm changing the height to get from low to high. This is a general yin and yang Tai Chi principle, right? It applies to everything in animation. If we want to show Donald Duck is very angry, right? He's jumping around. His squash and stretch, when he goes to jump, he squashes way down and then stretches up, right? So this is Tai Chi principle. So we want to hit up and then very precise, hit back. You see the hands. I'm not keeping it here, right? So this is why I said there's two ways. And this hand trick is just a very simple one. It's a poke, right? There may be also something, there may be like maybe an accuracy thing based on how you hold it. I know this, like we said, the first one, when it comes up, whether I switch both hands this way or whether I do this, this poking is accompanied by cross step. So let's do the movement together, right? If I'm facing that direction, I'll do a few going that way and then I'll do a few going this way. So I hit up, and then when I switch my hands, cross step, right? So if I'm facing in that direction, I take my stick, throw it up, cross step and poke. Facing that way. Up, poke. Up, poke. One more. Up, poke. Now I'm going this way so you can see the other side. Once I throw it up, poke. I'm keeping this close to my center. It doesn't have to be here, but it's close to my dumpling. Pop up, poke back. Center, and both attacks going to the center. They don't need to if your opponent blocks down here. But why else would you? Where else would you attack if you have this kind of jabbing power? Get right to their center, put it in their sternum, their gut, their groin, something. Half circle, hook. Slow motion, up. Switch hands as this is falling back down. The left hand guides it to strike. Now we combine the two. So I'll face kind of a slight angle this way. Is after the smash, I'm going to pop up to the center, poke back, and then reset. And now pop up and poke back, and then reset. Because now we're going to put them back to back. We're going to add one more thing, which is resetting the posture, which is just going back to a parallel stance. So if I go north, don't worry, we're going to review this a bunch of times. We still have another 10-15 minutes. So if I'm facing in that direction, going north, and I've just done the under elbow, under armpit scoop, turn, smash. If I'm facing north, pop up, hit back, and now I'm going to reset. And from the reset, I can turn 90 degrees or I can go back north. In this case, I'm going to go to the east, pop up, and my foot and my hand move together so that my other foot and hand can move together this way. So this one can turn, this turning can turn, something like that, right? So, and by the way, this one also, this is a great example if you have the longer stick. We can use this as quite a range, because if I hold this pop up here can move a far distance to my target way over across the room. So if I hit up this way, right, I can hit the target from here, my hand and my foot moving together, left hand, left foot, right? This going up, And then watch, once this turns over, I can actually make a lot of distance to close the gap, right? By using the length of the stick here, and you see how close it is. So even though if I use the wall as my target, way over there, I don't want to hit my plaster, but I can get to the target, right? I can reach all the way and be moving in underneath my stick while it's moving. This one, I should learn a name for these in Mandarin, because this is, for Mark, I know you're a martial artist. When you get a chance with the bag work, practice this one. And so, by the way, also for the distance, remember we said it can be long distance. This can also be close range. So if my opponent is here, I can pop up, hit back, right? Up, back, up, back. It can just be here. So if you've done the staff form and you have to practice doing this stuff, it can be just this one. Pop it up the center, hit it back, right? If I use the other stick, same feeling, up, poke, up, poke. And this poke, the smaller the stick, closer range, right? This is my opponent. I can hit his face, his gut, up here, down here. Let's do, before we continue, questions, thoughts, comments, ideas. Pretty straightforward, right? Poke up, or pop up, poke back. And then, we'll wait for the next class to start the next two. The next two are the iron fan, and it's probably about the same level of complexity, maybe a little bit more, because we're going to hit and then turn and hit the other direction. So let's do the form. We'll do up to what we have just done at least 3 times, and then we'll see how we're doing for time from there, because it looks like it's about 10 till. So pick a space where you can do the salute properly and have some room to travel. You don't have to take full steps if you don't have the space. And then from the ready stance, it's as if I have a sword in my scabbard, and I'm going to throw it from here with this hand. So I'm ready, and I want to block, cast the fishing line, waba, elbow, smash, slide, waba, cut up, and then catch, spinning block, drill up to the corner, high hit to the other corner, spiral hit to the ankles, tip up, over the top, and then turn the fan, 2, 3, ankle smash, waba, elbow, catch and turn 90, catch and smash, pop up, hit back, pop up, hit back. Don't worry, let's do that again. We'll go from the beginning. I may change and move my form around a little bit. Just follow the best you can. So from the salute, we're ready. We have a block, cast, waba, elbow, turn, smash, cut, up, spinning block, drill, high hit, spiral, tip up, tip top, turn, 2, 3. Goes to the ankle, waba, elbow, catch and spin. It's the horseshoe shape. And then from here, catch, smash, pop up, hit back, going the other direction, pop up, hit back. Iron fan 1, iron fan 2. One more time. You know what? I'll try to use something different. So from the salute, ready, block, cast, recoil, flip, smash, cut up, spinning block, drill, high hit, spiral down, tip up, tip top, flip, catch, spin, elbow, U-shape, smash, pop up, hit back, pop up, hit back. One reason, by the way, another reason I see more than one of you doing this. One reason he talked about keeping these hands together in the center is we don't want to lose our triangle for power. Remember we said that one of the Tai Chi principles is if you just let your arms completely relax and you have your elbows, like you're going to dig your elbows into your own ribs or hips or wherever they end up hitting on your structure. And then just let them relax and bring your fingertips together. If we look at this shape, right, there's a triangle. I'm wearing black, so it's difficult to see. So that's why I'm trying to turn to this, so you can see this weird angle. But the shape, if you look down with your fingertips touching, you should see a triangular shape. That's where your power is. This is what, when you see people doing something like tear a phone book, it's like a parlor trick to demonstrate some kind of kung fu technique or some kind of inner power. It's right here. It's where your center is. So if you need to break something, this is where it's the most strong. Same thing with the stick. If you want to have control of this stick, if you can stick it, I don't know if you can see, I'm literally pushing it into my center, pushing it into my gut, right? Everybody has a little bit of fat. There's no problem with that, right? So if I can make it stick there, it's powerful, and it's difficult to take away. If somebody wants to take it away from me, the more I keep it here in my center. So when we do this pop-up, when you do the hit back, don't let the weapon get so far away, right? How many in this class have heard the term getting played by the weapon? There's a term in Chinese martial arts, and we say, like, if there's somebody and they're practicing maybe a spear, or they have a metal stick and it's too heavy, and when they go to do the technique, right, they go to drill, and then when they high hit, they lose the balance because the momentum carries them. That's called getting played by the weapon. The weapon was actually in control because its momentum caused us to lose our center, right? So we want to have complete control of the weapon at all time. And so when we do this pop-up, keeping the hands closer to the center will keep us from getting played by the weapon, right? We want to throw the weapon so far in that corner up here, but it's too far. It's actually too far for the technique, but we let it go anyway, so we end up following the weapon. Anytime you follow the weapon, that's not intentional. There's a time, if I do a smash, right? If I want to smash something that's over here, and I'm way over here, right? I may follow the weapon. I may actually launch it. I may, if it's a heavy club, right, like a Marvel superhero movie, Thor has a hammer, right, throw it and follow it, right, like it's carrying me. That's on purpose. I didn't get played by the weapon. I may be letting the momentum do something with my structure. Getting played by the weapon is when the weight, the power, or some distribution of those two things causes you to lose the balance. Questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? Let's go one more time with the form, and then, by the way, you should see that this basic exercise has a lot of the movements in it, especially the one that we're doing right now. This is almost identical. And one of the reasons that I like to practice this one is because I've spent a lot of hours doing what I'm doing here, is turning this. This is the exercise. So if I'm using that end, right, I'm throwing it up and poking over the top. Throw it up, poke. So I'm throwing it up this way. If my opponent is there, up, poke. So the faster you can make this transition as well. And so this also comes down to control. If you can make that stick turn really fast, You don't have to do it. In the martial arts competition, when the judge and the audience, everybody's looking, you can make a big whipping movement and sit way back and make this pull cue way down low and stuff. You don't have to, right? There's an opponent there, right? If you can turn and hit, the faster you can make that happen, the better. But while we're learning, we should be able to do all of it, yin and yang. Make the big floating flower yoga one, and then also make the one that's going to cause the opponent to have some. Please don't injure yourself or your property with your stick. Let's go one more time up to what we just learned. From the salute, block, cast, recoil, elbow, smash, slice up, spinning block, drill, high hit, low hit, tip up, top, turn, 2, 3. Slide, elbow, U-shape. And then from there, smash, pop up, hit, pop up, hit, reset, take a deep breath. Questions, thoughts, comments? We have just a minute left. So, if you make your feet shoulder width wide, and then you let your arms go to the side this way, relax your shoulders, push your head top up, and just feel as if like there's a string connected right to the tip of your middle finger on each side, and that's going to go up in front of you. So like somebody's pulling the string up this way. So relax your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. So it will, once you reach it, it will feel like your palms are facing forward. So breathing deep. Relax your arms. Let your energy hold the hands in place. And then like an electromagnet that the power is turned off, completely let everything relax. So we're going to do the same thing again. Feel as if there's power, like a magnet, right at the end of your middle finger, and that it's going up and out to the side. Your wrists will bend first, and then your elbows, your shoulders. And if you look, you see my arms look like half circles that should be round because they're completely relaxed. Only that one little string happening at the very top of the middle fingers. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Feel the weight on the center of your sternum. Push up through your head top and feel like your arms staying out there on their own. The chi underneath, pressing out, supporting them, and then all at once, completely relaxed. We're going to do one more time to the front. By the way, while we're doing this, breathe deep, and we're letting all the energy, all the chi that we collected go towards the center, but we're doing something else to distract the mind while that happens naturally on its own. So grip your feet, breathe deep, and then the same thing. Feel the pull on the middle finger. You can imagine it's going straight up. Your wrists, elbows, and shoulders should feel heavy. Feel your collarbones. The weight of your whole arm is hanging on your shoulder blade, your collarbones, your shoulders, your neck. Pushing up through the head top. Breathe deep. Lift the base of the torso. Tongue is connected to the upper palate. Relax the arms like they're there on their own, and that you can control turning them on and off just like that. Take a deep breath. Bring your feet together. And that's it. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and you know how to reach me if you have any questions, comments. Have a great night.
Friend, thank you.
Thank you.